In the time remaining, we would like to talk about how technology in general has changed the courts and how we may better use technology in the future to improve Nevada's judicial branch. I'd like to call upon Chief Justice Perigary to begin that discussion. Chief?
Thank you, Justice Sato. I'm impressed every day with the way our courts utilize technology to make us more efficient and really better able to serve the public. It's been just a few short years since we embarked on our quest to improve the courts through technology, and the results and the benefits have been tremendous, and we have several examples of that. It wasn't too long ago that a number of our rural courts had no computers, if you can imagine that. They had no email, no case management systems, no internet. We changed that through our administrative office of the courts. We provided the computers and the tech support to these courts. One of our panelists here in Carson City is Scott Sosby. He's our new court informations officer, and he'll be talking about the Nevada Court System Project. Another example of our use of technology, the clerk of our Supreme Court is Tracy Lindemann. She will explain the Supreme Court's new electronic filing process, which we call the e-filing system. And it's interesting to note, but the Second Judicial District Court in Reno has been using e-filing, and it's been a reality there for the past 2 years. In fact, they had pioneered the system that we're now using at the Supreme Court. The 8th Judicial District Court in Clark County is installing a similar system, which should be fully functional by the end of the year. The use of video conference and teleconference capabilities at the Supreme Court has saved taxpayers thousands and thousands of dollars in staff time and participant time and travel costs. We are using that same technology so litigants and lawyers can make court appearances at the other ends of the state without having to spend hours traveling and the costs and time associated with that. Justice Douglas is in Las Vegas, and he'll explain how that came about. Justice Douglas will also talk about how Clark County Jury Services uses a sophisticated system to make it easier for the thousands of people a year called into jury duty. Local courts have utilized technology to allow offenders to pay tickets online and access court records. Las Vegas Justice of the Peace Melissa Saragosa will talk about the successes in her court. I'm almost embarrassed to admit that Nevada was probably one of the last states to have a website. We do now, and it provides an amazing array of information and services. Today's webcast of Law Day Live emphasizes just how far we have come. In short, the use of technology in our courts is letting us overcome our shortcomings, and all of the citizens of Nevada will be the beneficiary. I'd like to start this discussion in Las Vegas with Justice Douglas and Judge Saragosa talking about how technology has improved our ability to dispense justice. After Las Vegas, we'll move to Carson City, Reno, and Elko, and let's go to Las Vegas now.
I'm here with Judge Saragosa, and we're glad to be here statewide, and this is a demonstration of what we have, taking advantage of the technology. It's something in my lifetime I didn't expect to happen, but this is the intersection of technology meeting court. And for those of us who were born and remember the 60s, when the motto was access to justice, we understood that unless you had access to justice, you were a second-class citizen. And technology now affords us the ability to provide that access to justice for all people. And it's not just allowing the public to see what happens in their public courtrooms. It's the ability to provide attorneys through technology to people who are a distance from the courthouse. Here in Nevada, if we start thinking about places like Wendover and Gabbs and Goldfield, or Smith Valley up north. We sometimes have difficulty getting lawyers out to those communities. More importantly, we have difficulty getting volunteer lawyers, whether they be legal services or members of the bar who are volunteering their services to people with limited means for representation. Those individuals, even though they might be able to get to the courthouse, can't adequately represent themselves. So the use of technology affords them the opportunity to be first-class citizens based on representation. Additionally, the Supreme Court. You can now go online, see arguments before the Nevada Supreme Court, and you're not there, by streaming video or tying into the website at the courthouse. These are things that we didn't have 3 years previously. I guess more than 7 years ago, I was at a technology conference. They were talking about a virtual courtroom where they had a case in Australia with 170 attorneys. They were all not in the same room or the same country. And they dealt with a multi-million-dollar event, and no one was in the same room. In the future, the question is, will we have jurors who are sitting in their own homes and listening to cases and making decisions? And the judge is in one place, a defendant, a plaintiff are in another place, and our jurors are someplace else. Where do we go? That's the question. And I will see what comments Judge Saragosa has.
Judge Saragosa, Justice Court, just going to tell us about the innovations of mobile technology and the effect for the court.
Thank you, Justice Seda. There have been several different ways I believe that technology has really assisted both the courts as well as the customers that we serve in the Las Vegas Justice Court. The biggest of those is within our traffic division. The Las Vegas Justice Court Traffic Division processes over 200,000 traffic tickets a year. And with that volume, we really need to be able to get people in to serve our customer as quickly, efficiently, and conveniently as possible. Back in about 2006, the Clark County Commission invested or provided us a $250,000 investment to establish an internet and a voice response telephone system to utilize to handle, process, make payments towards, make court dates for our traffic tickets. Prior to this, I can tell you, the wait in line to process a ticket, to just come in, make a payment, enter a plea at the counter in the traffic division was a 4-hour wait. The lines were long. They went wrapped around the canyon of our building, and they were outside the doors at times, and it was could potentially be a security problem. It was certainly inconvenient for anyone who had to pay on a traffic ticket. And with the initiation of this internet and voice response system, we have been able to cut those wait times down for someone who's actually standing in line to less than 20 minutes. And many times there's no wait at all. It's been a huge, huge benefit to the Las Vegas Justice Court and to the customers that we serve. That process itself and that internet and voice response system paid for itself within the first 5 weeks of using it. Additionally, using that system, I believe, it just makes it easier. It's more convenient for someone who has a traffic ticket. They don't have to come down to the courthouse to handle it. They can simply make their payment and take care of their traffic ticket in less than 5 minutes by the click of a mouse or the punch of a button on a keypad on a telephone.